guys, welcome back to the counselor's office.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Let's do it! Are you hyped? I'm hyped! Woo! Let's get hyped! Woo! Put your hands in the air like you don't care! Let's do this, people! Woo! Woo! Are you hyped? Because I'm hyped. Because this week is jam-packed. We got Black Flag coming out. We've got Pal Worlds coming out. And then we got TennoCon, which I am excited for. It is a good week. And I started summer TCG club with my students. I'm going to keep talking about that because it's a great, good old time. I'm feeling really spicy. That's right. Now, I am going to have a little mini rant. This is our intro. A little mini rant. I bought, a brand new computer, and it was supposed to come in from the June 29th to July 6th. Obviously, I figured it might be delayed a day, if anything, because of 4th of July. But they didn't, nothing's changed. I checked the app that they use, the shop app that I'm supposed to use to track the computer, and nothing's changed. So I just sent them an email earlier today, and they got back to me fairly quickly, and they said, yeah, we'll check in that for you. Just give us, it might take 2 days to get back to you on that. I'm like, bro, it's so bad. The computer parts and everything, it's so bad that they can't even, make computers in time. Like, this is a beast. This is going to be a beast that lasts me for 3, 4, maybe 5 years. Like, this computer, 5 years, 6 years. Yeah, I'm going to be good for 5, 6 years. I even have like extra 2 terabyte Samsung solid state RAM. So I'm going to have like a total of 6, not RAM, solid state hard drive. I'm gonna have like 6 terabytes of memory in that rig because I'm gonna plug this sucker into it too. But either way, yeah, I'm a little upset. And honestly, even if I built it myself, it would probably be delayed because parts are hard. It's hard to be a PC gamer. It's hard to get your stuff in time. I was like, anyways, let's jump in. So this is nothing. This is going to be our comment of the day. Let's just for the funsies, comment of the day.
Comment of the day. That's right, son. Come on down to the comment of the day, boy.
Comment of the day. We have PC Gamer. Has nothing to do with the video outside. We are talking about Bungie and Destiny today. Players prove Destiny 2 can still produce wonders with discovery of poopy pants transmog. And even DMG posted, oh God. This is like Reddit tier shit posting. Why is a professional a gaming journalist making an article about things have to be bad, that they're making an article about how people are making themselves look like they have shit pants in Destiny. Like, first off, why is that even a thing? 2, why are professional journalists writing about it? This is like Reddit tier levels of like, let's talk. Hey guys, it's almost like that the Root of Nightmares Warlock Bond. They call it the Bondusi because it looked like a Badusi, if you know what I mean. I don't think, you know what? I have to say, I believe Paul Tassi did make an article about that, but it's Paul Tassi. I'm not surprised. He talks about everything Bungie, Destiny related, but PC Gamer, this is wow. I'm not actually clicking on the article, but it's just the comment of the day. Anyways, let's go to the topic. The topic is Christopher Barret has settled his $200 million lawsuit against Bungie and Sony, securing game director credits on Marathon. First off, let's look at his original post. He obviously locked it. So Christopher Barret, we'll get to like the story in a minute, but like the general gist of it, after a long chapter, I'm happy to share this update. Thank you to everyone who supported me along the way. Update on my lawsuit. I am pleased to share that Sony, Bungie, and I have reached an agreement to resolve the lawsuit. The outcome is one I'm very satisfied with, and I am grateful to everyone who stood by me. Closing this chapter allows me to focus my attention on what's next in my gaming journey, and I look forward to what lies ahead. Below is the parties' joint statement. So this is everyone making the statement. The litigation between Sony Interactive Entertainment, Bungie, and Christopher Barret has been settled. For 25 years, Mr. Barret contributed to some of Bungie's most successful games. Mr. Barret was the original game director for Marathon, and his name has been added to the game's credit to reflect that. Here, first off, let's give one of these.
Let's get ready to
That's not, no, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I want. It's not hitting the wrong things. No, stop. No, that's the wrong one. I hit the wrong buttons. It was like tactical nuke. Yeah, there was. Are you ready to rumble with this one? My thoughts were, that's what I wanted. Miss when soundboarding goes wrong. I'm not celebrating this. Imagine getting your name on a dying game that was also being blamed for the downfall of Bungie and is severely hated by most gamers in the gaming industry. Imagine wanting your name in those credits. That is... what the actual hell? But anyways, if you're wanting to know who Christopher Barret is and what this situation is, let's go to this nice little article by the Game Post. So we're just going to get a little flash forward. Former Bungie director, legal fight with Sony has in Bungie started after his March 2024 termination from the studio, reportedly for misconduct. Barret later filed a lawsuit seeking at least $200 million, accusing Sony and Bungie of wrongful termination, defamation, breach of contract, wage law violations, and FMLA related claims. Sony and Bungie denied his claims and argued that he was fired for cause after an internal investigation. The lawsuit went through several major turns after it was first filed. In December 2025, the Delaware Court of Chancery dismissed the case for lack of jurisdiction, meaning the court did not rule on who was right or wrong. Barret then refiled the lawsuit in Delaware Superior Court in January 2026 and requested a 12-person jury trial. That is very notable that this is not a judge. This is someone, these are multiple people listening on to this conversation, which is something to note when we talk about, you know, some of the other situations that it led to this, right? Christopher Barret confirms Sony and Bungie lawsuit settlement. You know, he shared all this, yada, yada, yada. That's the last part. It's one of the biggest pieces of update. When Marathon launched earlier this year, the credits for the game didn't include Barrett's name anywhere. Don't know why you would want it. Anyways, the settlement also comes during a rough period for Bungie. Recently, Sony confirmed a new reduction in Bungie's workforce, affecting a significant number of employees. Okay, so they're not going to mention it. So let's roll back. When we talk about why he was laid off for reported misconduct, are they going to link it? Okay, so here we go. Bungie veteran fired after inappropriate behavior towards female employees. Let's see. According to a report, at least 8 female employees came forward reporting that Barret had made them feel uncomfortable and behaved inappropriately toward them. The investigation revealed that Barret had called lower-level female employees attractive, asked them to play truth or dare, and made references to his wealth and power within the studio, suggesting he could help advance their careers. Messages reviewed by Schreier showed Barret sending flirtatious texts to female employees and requests to hang out with them. In response to the allegations, Barret apologized for making some employees feel uncomfortable, while also stating that he has always conducted himself with integrity and been respectful and supportive of my colleagues, many of whom I consider my closest friends, he said. I never understood my communication to be unwanted and would have never thought they could possibly have made anyone feel uncomfortable. If anyone ever felt that way about their interaction with me, I'm truly sorry. Just before we continue, I just want to call something out. As someone who's like has a master's degree in psychology and dealing with learning about abuse and just understanding the balance of power in relationships. The reason why they did not say anything was out of fear, because you have power. Like, there's a role dominance. You don't want to, shake the boat with someone who could fire you. It's the same thing why people who are, assaulted are afraid to come out. There's a power imbalance. There's fear of being, attacked and having more harm done to them. And that's kind of like what the fear was. Bungie's parent company, Sony, wouldn't comment on Barrett's case specifically, but told Bloomberg that it takes all complaints of misconduct very seriously. And they did. They got rid of him. He went bye-bye. So that's very important, that there was a 12-person jury and they came to a deal. Now, just to be clear here, there are several things that we need to point out from this statement. One, we have reached an agreement to resolve the lawsuit. This means that they resolved it not from the jurors. This was not resolved by the judge or the 12-person jury. This was straight up an agreement that they decided to solve, because if it was the court that decided, it would have been stated that the court came to this conclusion, but they came together to make this agreement. Two, nowhere in the statement, and this is very important because remember, there were claims, and we've seen there was actually text messages that were revealed, like a whole laundry list of all the text messages and the things that were put in the court case. And many people looked at the court case and all the evidence. Weird, unhinged shit, which I would have thought, yes, it is not okay for leaders to be talking or interacting with, employees like this. Some of them very, not even flirtatious, very sexual, very creepy. Like, what the hell, dude? Overstepping your boundaries, having that power imbalance, fucked up. Nothing in this joint statement, this statement right here, relieves Barrett of these claims. Nothing in this statement says those accusations were wrong. What you're seeing is a resolution to Sony and Bungie letting him go, but nothing, and it doesn't say that he was wrongfully let go. There's nothing here saying that in any of the claims that Sony and Bungie did, because remember, this doesn't seem like this was done through the court. This was probably a mediated agreement, either outside the court or in the court. It was a mediation and it was agreed upon resolution, and the court didn't actually rule on this itself. These are things that are important, because if it was the court, the 12 jury ruling on this, that would be something that would be coming out, that the court ruled X, Y, and Z. This doesn't alleviate the claims against him. It doesn't say that Sony or Bungie were in the wrong. All it says is that there was an agreement and he got his name back on the game that he was working on. We don't know how much money he got, whether he got his full 200 million. But what we do know, this joint agreement does not release Barrett of the claim, the inappropriate, flirtatious, sexual, gross interaction he had with female employees. There's nothing here that, releases him, that he's proven innocent. Nothing here says that he's innocent at all. The original marathon, not the new one. No, he's not TV. No. It's not. They're talking about the current, right now, the current marathon, not the other one. I'll take this over them writing politics. Poopy Pants is very Guardian fashion of announcement of Destiny 3. Yeah. like I said, there's a lot that you need to dissect. You can't just, it's easy for, and he's going to take this as a win, by the way. He's going to take this because, and he's going to, it's very deceptive, right? Is to take this, like, I've been added back to the credits, I win. But notice that he's not saying that everything that was said is false. He believes it was false, but he's not, nothing here is saying that Sony and Bungie were in the wrong. Nothing says, because an agreement is not the same as being proven guilty or innocent or losing the lawsuit. This is like in the middle of the pack. No one wins, no one loses. So I would take anyone who thinks that this means that Christopher Barret is innocent. That's not what this means. And if I were to give a theory cap, a game theory idea of why, well, two things. One, I don't know if you know this, but lawsuits are expensive. And Bungie just lost half of their studio. Sony is not doing good financially. And right now, also, you have to think that both reputation of Bungie and Sony is in the gutter. The last thing they need is to have the lawsuits continue to drag on and on. If I were to say this, I think this is a corporate play of just, let's just give them some amount of payment and have them fuck off. Just, you know what? It's not worth the bacon. At some point, you start spending more money than it's worth, even for, a $1 billion company, especially when you're having no success with your consoles. People aren't, like, we've seen how things are going for Sony right now. It's bad. People are unsubscribing to their, subscriptions. They're not buying games. It's hitting the shitter. So this seems like a very corporate play of, we just need to get out of this. Because also, something else to be noted, Sony is now in another lawsuit for a monopoly that people are suing them for creating a monopoly for their games. That's a whole different situation. If I'm Sony, it'd be cheaper to pay someone off and move on, especially if I'm losing money, and multiple lawsuits are just not going to be good for your reputation, and just also for paying court fees and lawyer fees. And it's easier to just bite the bullet and move on. So anyways, let's see how people are reacting to this news. The Barret lawsuit has been settled. No specific disclosed other than he'll be added to the marathon credits. Imagine being so proud of having your name somewhere it has no right to be. Reminds me of that time he tried forcing 8 women to do something they didn't want. I still think it's really funny. It's actually poetic. Christopher Barret, possibly one of the slimiest people, but they now have credit in one of the worst games in the gaming industry, right there in the same line as Concord. So yeah, I think it's very fitting, to be honest. Heartwarming. Sexual predator receives millions of dollars. An absolute disgrace freak now has his name immortalized in Marathon. It's poetic. The guy out here sexually harassing his employees gets his name added back to the game and gets paid for doing so. What a fucking joke. You're a scumbag. I need Hogue Law to give me a read on this, because it feels like Barret got the bag, which in turn feels like it was either looking like he would win, or it would expose something that Sony do not want out there. That's something that's also big. Like, if there was something that would have been revealed in Discovery, like if he was about to expose more, like if there's other sus, like if Christopher Barret went all hellfire and said, I'm about to reveal what the other leaders were doing, we might have actually got like some sauce. I didn't think about that. If they didn't want things coming out in Discovery, because that would, like, you wouldn't have to, you could prove, like, hey, why did I get fired when these leaders did even shittier things and they're allowed to stay on the payroll? because then you could argue that you were targeted. And it would lean to him, even if you think he's a shitty person, if he could point like, this person did some heinous shit and they're still on the job. Why did I get targeted for this? Well, then he probably will win that case, because then you can argue that he was, unfairly fired compared to what other people were like. Man, I think there is so many skeletons in Bungie. I think there's so many skeletons. Like, I feel like you could make like a little, I want to say Ghostbusters, but like documentary of like haunted bodies in Bungie. +1 reasons why people hate Marathon. Yep. Millions of dollars to be a sexual predator, and then closing the comments of the post because you're a coward. Classic. I do think that's also very telling, that you celebrate, pat yourself on the back, and then you're a bitch by closing your comment section. Like, bro, let's go. Fuck you. Congrats. I guess being part of a major failure marathon and adding to the downfall of Bungie. Glad you got your name added to the credits. That's what I'm saying, bro. You'll stick to be a scumbag who took pleasure in making women feel uncomfortable at their jobs. Can you please tell us more about the original direction for Marathon? Did it start in Unreal? Was it planned Destiny 3 content at any point? Bro. Anyways, I don't... It's crazy. It's crazy, man. Not what I expected to find out. Oh, the guy who got fired for being scummy to work? Gross. See? Nobody cares. Hey, he designed a lot of iconic parts of Destiny. He did. Listen, I'm not going to say that he didn't make some great things. Like, his participation in Destiny is very noteworthy. But you can still, I don't believe, and here I'll say this again, you cannot separate the art from the artist. I'm glad he made his stuff, but that doesn't mean that he's a shitty person and that I'm not upset that his shit is in the game. It leaves a bad, taste in the mouth, knowing that something that's enjoyable is made by a piece of shit. And it's a reminder of that piece of shit. Anyways, let me know what you think down below. Yeah, are you happy? Are you upset that this is happening? Do you think that Sony's just trying to, be done with this? Or do you think that maybe there was some, some stuff that Christopher Barret could have revealed? And, what the hell, man? I'm about to end the video, not transition. And it's gone. Anyways, that's my cue. I'll see you in the next one. Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, we'll see you in the next one. Huzzah.